Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today we have another Robert's Ranks video. Words are hard. I don't know why I look like I'm crying. I'm not. Oh wow, that's red. Wow. I'm very tired. But today we are doing a follow-up, okay? Because a couple weeks ago we did all Percy Jackson books ranked, and I did not include the Heroes of Olympus books because I just think they're on a whole new level. So I didn't want to include them with the Percy Jackson ones because obviously they're just going to be above all the Percy Jackson ones. So today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to rank all Heroes of Olympus books. The Heroes of Olympus series was written by Rick Riordan, and they're really, really solid. Oh, sorry, my nose itches. Before we get started, I do want to mention that I'm not going to spoil any of these books because I don't do that here. Okay, I don't. And I do want to mention also that I think all of these books are good. Ranking these were incredibly difficult because they're so good. The Percy Jackson ones were really easy for me, I think. And honestly, I think that some of the Percy Jackson books aren't good. But these ones are all really, really good. And so it was really difficult for me to rank them, but I did because that is my job. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these books. I want to see your guys' ranking. I love looking at that stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and give you mine, and then I would like to see yours in the comments, okay? So make sure you guys are thinking about it and dropping in the comments when you're done with the video. Alright, coming in at number 5. There's 5 books. This is the last one. This is the one that I didn't like. This is the one that I liked the least, I should say. And that is The Blood of Olympus. This is the final book in the series. And I don't think it's a bad book, but I think in comparison to the other 4, it's just not as strong, right? Because this is the last one. This is just mainly a huge fight. I mean, they're already in, their final spot that they're supposed to be in when they get here, and so it's really hard to There's nothing building up, really. They're already in their fight with the big bad. I don't want to mention who the big bad is in case it's a spoiler. And then, of course, Raina's involved. You don't know who Raina is, but I think this is the first book that you actually see Raina as a point of view, which is how these books are written. They're in second person. Sorry, they're in third person, but they're from a point of view. So, we'll have the point of view of Jason, even though it's not first person. So it's we were surrounding Jason. So, it's interesting stuff. And I don't know, I also thought it was interesting that we didn't really have any Percy perspective in this one, which I understand because, we had a whole lot in the one before this, but still, I don't think there's a single Percy one in here, and it's really weird because he's a main character, but whatever. Overall, I do think it's a good ending. I think it's I think it's an okay ending. There's a lot of stuff in this book that made me cry. My favorite character in the entire series, Leo. I'm not going to mention what happens to him, but something happens to him at the end and it makes my whole body explode. And I know that things are continuing in the new series that is out, the Trials of Apollo. I just hadn't gotten around to reading all of them. I read the first 2, but I haven't read the rest of them. I should probably go back and reread them. I tried rereading the Percy Jackson books recently, but I just can't because they're too childish. These I probably could reread if I wanted to. I don't really think I do want to. I think I'm okay with ending it where it ended here on The Blood of Olympus. Coming in at number 4, my 4th favorite. Okay, The Son of Neptune. Okay, so this is really exciting. As you can tell by the title here, Neptune is the Roman god of water. And so obviously he's the son of Neptune, and Percy Jackson, of course, is the son of Poseidon, but he is transferred to a Roman camp because the gods see fit that they do that. I didn't like this book almost at all when I first read it. I've read these books probably 5 or 6 times. I didn't like this book literally at all until until I read it a couple other times. And I think the main reason is that it's a lot different than the first book. Okay, this is the second book that came out, and this one, the main issue that I had with it was that it's so slow, right? We start off and we already know who Percy is, but it's so frustrating because Percy doesn't know who Percy is. So it's like this whole time, and it's really, really frustrating. But then by the time you reread it, you're like, oh, it's actually pretty good. And it's very similar to a regular Percy Jackson book in terms of it's just a quest, just a regular quest. And then in the end, they meet all the characters from the first book, and it is a very, very nice book. And in case you guys are wondering when I first read these, the House of Hades came out in 2013, and I bought that when it came out because I was waiting for it. So I was 12. I was 12 when I read these. Maybe 11 depending on how early I started it, but I was 11 or 12. And I like this book. Is really, really solid. I don't think it's the best, obviously, but I did like revisiting Percy. I think Hazel's an okay character, and Frank, I don't really care for Frank, to be completely honest with you. I think he's fine, but I think they could have worked on his character a little bit more, because he kind of just felt like an outsider that no one really cared about, which is true, but also, like, we probably should work on his character, I think. Coming in at number 3, we have The Lost Hero. This is the first book in the series, and easily the best part about this book is Leo. Leo is my favorite character in the series. I love him so much. I love him so much that when I have a cat or a kid, whichever one comes first, I don't want a kid ever, but if I ever get a cat, I'm going to name it Leo after this and now Leonardo DiCaprio, so... I relate to Leo so much because he's always moving around and he can feel like he never sits still, and like he's just so sarcastic and funny, and I really, really like him. And Piper's and Jason's pretty cool. Jason's one of the characters that really hypes up, so he's not very good in the beginning. He goes whoop towards the end of the series. I think it's pretty cool. Cool cover too. I like the cover a lot. And overall, just a really, really solid book. Man, I want to reread it, but I just don't have time. Sad. Coming in at number 2, we have The House of Hades. This is a book that literally the whole world was waiting for, because after the end of the 3rd book, which, no spoilers, boy was I ready to freaking read this book. You have no idea. Oh my goodness, the waiting hurts so bad. I mean, like, you can't tell because, like, it is a little bit frayed. This was from the Amazon shipment, but for the most part, this book is in, like, pristine condition, because I read this one so fast every time, because, like, after the 3rd book, you're like, it is so cool, and, like, I'm not going to spoil what happens, although I guess you can kind of tell by the cover what kind of happens, but it's a really crazy book. It is insane to think about. It is so cool, and a really, really awesome book. I definitely like this one a lot. And in first place for my favorite book in the Heroes of Olympus series, The Mark of Athena. This book's so good. This book is so freaking good. This one is almost entirely about Annabeth. And it's the first time we actually get Annabeth as a character for perspective. And maybe it's the only one, too, unless we get some for House of Hades. I honestly don't think we do. Oh, no, we do. Okay. But it's almost entirely about Annabeth here. And we don't really get a whole lot of Annabeth in the first series. And now, of course, she's completely different than she was before. And just working with Annabeth through all of her problems and issues, and, of course, working with her mother, and she's scared about a lot of things. It's so cool. And then there's this giant spider, of course. And I'm not going to mention who it is, but you'll probably figure it out. I just think it's really cool. It's such a unique story. And also, the overarching, like, the prophecy in this one is really cool. As with every book, it starts off with a prophecy, right? And then, of course, by the final book, they're talking about the big prophecy. And this is where the big prophecy really starts. It's where they kind of kick off and they start heading in that direction. And then, of course, there's the little prophecy, which is a really big prophecy in this one. And it's just such a solid book, and easily my favorite in the entire series. Oh man, so good. So that's all the books ranked. If you guys have anything you want me to rank, let me know. I do have a relatively vast amount of books. Soon I will be ranking the Simon verse. I'm almost done with them. Don't include the Anthropocene Reviewed, although but all the ones above it are all Simon Verse novels. I've got 2 right here. I've got one that I'm reading and one that I'm going to read after that, and then I've got 2 more after that, I think. Yeah, 2 more, and then I will be able to do it. So, I don't know when that'll come out. Probably July. I would say July. July's safe. Maybe June. We'll see. But that's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. What is your ranking of these books? I do want to know. I don't know if the upcoming Disney Plus series is going to get this far, but I hope that we actually do get some sort of a film adaptation of these series books. Mainly because I'd love to see Leo in one of these novels, in a show or a movie. I love Leo, so I'd love to see that. But that's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.